Alright, today's video, we have the Target exclusive Boba Fett Morak, as seen in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Now, earlier we got the Book of Boba Fett version of Boba Fett in the deluxe box. But this is the carded version, and there are some differences in the costume and in the figure. This is in the United States, exclusive to Target stores, and they have been starting to show up in a few states: North Carolina, Virginia, New York, and I think Colorado. But they are not widespread released yet, though they have been out for several months in other parts of the world. Cardstock is thicker. On the back, we've got figures from the Kenobi wave, which is out. There's a couple other figures from later waves that are also starting to show up now as well. So we're going to open them up, take a look, and we will compare them to the Book of Boba Fett version as well. Alright, so we've got the figure opened up, and let's take a look. So it has some similar components to the Book of Boba Fett version. It also shares an element with the Return of the Jedi Fett that came out last year. So first, we'll take a look at the articulation. Okay, you got your double ball joint head, ball jointed arms at the shoulders, elbows, and wrists, with the swivel element in all of them. Same on both. You got your waist articulation, the ball jointed hips, and it is the newer style of ball jointed hip. Swivel thigh, ball jointed knee, and the rocker ankles. Now the knee has the hidden element here. It's also a lot bigger joint right there, and it is really tight, which is going to be nice. So the head, great sculpt. Paint apps are fantastic. It is the same as the Book of Boba Fett version, which should be slightly different, as he had more scarring in Mando Season 2. But it looks like they've kind of done that with the paint. They've tried to mimic some of the scarring with the paint instead. So what he shares with the Book of Boba Fett is the chest, which includes the shoulders and the back. This gauntlet is shared as well, as well as the hands, because of the hoses that attach to the shoulder area. Now it looks like they attach glue on here and here, so they could have done them a little different, because those gauntlets are different in Book of Boba Fett than they are here, but they just went with the same gauntlet on Book of Boba Fett. This one is correct, Book of Boba Fett is not. This gauntlet is new, based off of the Return of the Jedi sculpt. I didn't compare it to that Fett, but it is quite possible it is the same, as it should be. The belt is new. The lower legs are new, including the shin area, because that is very different between the two shows. The boots are also different, as they should be. So something that they do not share is the jetpack. This is the Morak one. This is the Book of Boba Fett, which this one is very accurate to the Book of Boba Fett. It has different details, and it has the removable rocket, which, you know, they could have done with this one too. And it has the area for the flame effect. So this is accurate to that show. This is borrowed from the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. And while that is the jetpack that he wears, it is missing the detail here where the damage was repaired by, I assume, Cobb Vanth, and painted over in Mando Season 2. So this is not exactly accurate to the show, but yeah, you know, it's passable. And unfortunately, though, that's probably all we're going to get. There are no holes in the bottom here for the flame effects, so you will not be able to reuse that from the Book of Boba Fett version. So the back here is fairly accurate to the show, and I mentioned in the Book of Boba Fett version, this one is not. So, you know, this is where they shared the same pieces for cost-cutting measures, and this one should be different because it is completely different in that show. But you'll notice that the belts are different, and, you know, the lower legs. So there is quite a bit different between the two figures from just the paint job. Heads, you know, same, just different paint. And it's a cost-cutting move. There are things that should be different on this figure, but it's fairly passable on this one. So another area that's different, and I'm really shocked that they did this, in the Book of Boba Fett video that I did earlier in the year, I mentioned that in the differences between that figure and this one that at the time was upcoming, that it was evident they were sharing some parts, mainly due to the backplate being the same. I figured that there were other differences that they would ignore, and surprisingly they did not. And that is the rifle. Let's see if we can focus on that better. There we go. This is the Morak version, and this is the Book of Boba Fett. The difference is one is shorter than the other, and that is how they are in the shows. There's, I think, 1 or 2 scenes in the Book of Boba Fett where he uses the longer rifle, but it's mainly the shorter rifle in the Book of Boba Fett, whereas Mando Season 2 has the longer one. And I'm really surprised that they went to that amount of detail to give him the 2 different rifles when a lot of people aren't going to even notice that. And they could have just gone with the same thing, and it really wouldn't have been that big a deal. So I'm really happy that they went the extra mile and gave us the 2 different rifles. But it also just makes me really surprised that they, you know, didn't do 2 different backs for the figures. So the soft goods on this figure, they are not as nice as what is on the Book of Boba Fett. Thin fabric that is frayed, and it's frayed on purpose, but I'm worried on how that's going to hold up over time. It's also not the fabric that was shown in the solicitation images. That fabric was closer to what we got on this figure. So be careful with that. I'm a little concerned over it. Just, you know, keep it in mind. Alright, so there we have it. Boba Fett Morak from The Mandalorian Season 2. Target exclusive that is starting to trickle out into retail. They still have not begun shipping them from the pre-orders that have been out forever. So, you know, this whole exclusive business is really annoying. It's a crapshoot on what you're going to get as far as a card coming from Target. because they have not been the best. I got the Miggs Mayfield and didn't do a video on that one yet, but he came with a sticker right across the back of the card. It was just horrible. So hopefully if you ordered it from Target, you're going to get a shipping notice before too long, and best of luck on that card if you're a carded collector. So he's coming, way overdue. Surprised we got the Book of Boba Fett before we got this one, but here it is. We'll have another new Boba Fett coming with Slave One next year's, the Nomad Fett. So we'll take a look at that one too when he arrives. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave me some comments. I try to respond to them as quick as possible. I also try to respond to all of them. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.